Hello everyone, I'm Mac with the Gwinnett County Public Library. Today we're going to start on our path towards a digital detox. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that we are going to take a look at the information that you have online and we're going to figure out ways for you to better protect your privacy. The goal of this series is for this to be an introduction to these topics in an accessible but non-technical way. Today we're going to talk about what is going on with your data, and we're going to become introduced to threat models and how building one can help you understand your privacy better. When it comes to your personal information and the internet, what immediately comes to mind? For many people, it's things like identity theft or the dark web or criminals stealing things that don't belong to them. And that's a very real thing. Experian reports that Social Security numbers can be bought for as little as $1. People engaged in stealing information can do a lot of damage to your reputation and your finances, but they're only a small slice of the pie when it comes to online information. A far bigger source of information about you is held by the companies that you do business with every single day. We're talking about Google, we're talking about Amazon, we're talking Facebook and Apple. All of these companies track what their customers do, and on top of that, they are part of a huge ecosystem of companies that's collecting data and selling it to businesses of all kinds. These companies that they're selling it to include things like people searching, risk mitigation, and personalized marketing, and they are some of the largest and most profitable concerns in the online data environment. These practices are very poorly regulated, especially within the United States, and in many cases, consumers like you have no idea where this information is coming from or how it's going to be used. A good rule of thumb is if it's a large company, especially one involved in marketing, technology, retail, or finances, they have a stake in gathering and acquiring your consumer information. You may be surprised to learn what sorts of things are being tracked about you when you're online. Some of the things that these online trackers can track about you include what you're looking at and how long you looked at it and where you went next after you left that page, your approximate location in the world, whether it's just your neighborhood or your actual latitude and longitude, mouse movement, keyboard entries, and details about the device you're using, including your screen resolution, the browser you're on, your operating system, how much juice is in your battery, and much, much more. The goal of all of this is to build a profile so that you can be tracked around the internet and so that companies know who you are, what you like, and so they can develop an increasingly more accurate profile of your life. It can be alarming to think about your privacy being invaded and all of this information being tracked about you. But not everything is put to explicitly nefarious purposes. This information helps tailor ads to you, showing you things that you might be interested in, and it helps to personalize your experience on many websites. A large majority of consumers say they appreciate this as it helps them cull down what they're seeing in the overwhelming world of online information. But not everyone feels this way. Some people want to protect their privacy. Some people just want to stop bad actors. And some people just want to be more conscious of what is going on with their digital footprint. This is where your threat model comes in. Threat modeling is a way of creating a security plan for your data. It sounds scary, but it's really just a systematic way of thinking about your security philosophy. Never thought that you would have a security philosophy? Well, now you do. It derives from the world of cybersecurity, but you can use it in your personal life as well. What does it look like? If you answer these 5 questions, you'll have a threat model, and we're going to go through some sample answers as we cover each of the 5 questions now. First, what is it that you want to protect? You might think that you don't have anything to protect, but everybody has assets. This includes access to your accounts, your financial information, your personal information, and more. Who do you want to protect it from? Most people will automatically say criminals, but you may also want to avoid sharing information with strangers, employers, companies, or other people in your life who you don't want to know every detail about your online search habits. Number 3, how bad are the consequences if you fail? Some consequences include being the victim of a crime like identity theft, public embarrassment, losing out on a job, or other things. Number 4, how likely is it that you'll need to protect your assets? For most of us, we don't have a super high need to protect our privacy from outside actors. But if you're someone in the public eye or who has been the victim of stalking or an identity theft related crime, your need may be higher than other people who might be watching this video. Number 5, how much effort are you willing to go through to prevent potential consequences? Every privacy protection has a cost, whether that cost is money, time, effort, or something else. We could spend a whole video going through a threat model, but instead I want to strongly encourage you to go to the Electronic Frontier Foundation's webpage on security plans linked in the description below. They have a great explanation of all of the steps and an easy to follow worksheet that you can use. There are 2 main things though that I want you to keep in mind as you start thinking about your threat model. First, no 2 threat models are the same. Your assets, potential consequences, and need to protect information will be different from other people. A high-profile activist is at a much higher risk of being exposed online than someone who's just living a normal day-to-day life. But no matter what your risks, everyone has assets they want to protect and consequences that will happen if they fail. Second, you want to give a lot of thought to the last question on that security checklist, namely, how much trouble you're willing to go to protect your assets. The main trade-off for security and privacy is convenience. Virtually all of the tools that protect your privacy remove some layer of convenience. For example, putting an alphanumeric password on your phone instead of using Face ID or a thumbprint is more secure, but it does take longer to unlock your phone every single time you want to use it. Knowing your tolerance for inconvenience is important when evaluating whether or not the tools we'll be exploring in the rest of this series make sense for your situation. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we've looked at who is tracking your information, what sort of information is being gathered about you, and how a threat model can help you to build a security profile you can use to assess how you're going to protect your privacy. Over the next 4 videos, we'll be diving into social media, email, identity tracking, and privacy tools that you can put to use in your personal threat model. If you want more information about how trackers are following you, I recommend the New York Times article, "I visited 47 sites and hundreds of trackers have followed me." Full access to the New York Times is available through the Gwinnett County Public Library, or you can reach out to the library for a book librarian appointment to get more information about this topic and many more. Thank you for watching today, and remember, it's your privacy. Protect it.